Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called I'm Thinking of Becoming a Mercenary. What do you think I should do? Today's episode is also going to be a viewer consultation episode. This is where we answer the questions of viewers. So let's get started. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, follow, and comment on the show, as well as tell you about HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a great way to purchase a live call from some of your favorite movie stars, TV stars, athletes. A live 15-second call is $19.95, and a live 30-second call is $29.95. It's a great gift idea for yourself or for somebody you care about, so give it a try. It's called HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now, without any further ado, we're going to get things started. The first question is from Sammy, and Sammy writes, I just got out of the military and the job market is horrifically bad. I've never seen anything this bad in the economy. Because of that, I'm thinking of becoming a mercenary. Is it possible to make a good living as a mercenary? Well, some mercenaries can make between $500 and $2,000 a day. They say that some interrogators can make up to $14,000 per week. The salary for mercenaries can range anywhere from $75,000 to $400,000 a year. And of course, that depends on what you're willing to do and who you're willing to work for. There is a reason that people hire mercenaries, and that's because they want them to do things that they can't legally require soldiers to do. And that dramatically escalates the level of danger, the threat, and the legal jeopardy that you may be putting yourself into if you're caught someday. The thing to remember is that this is not a long-term career. Every day that you survive, you've basically just won the lottery ticket that day. Every day that you haven't been killed, apprehended, taken into custody, you just won the lottery that day. Because mercenaries, they get killed all the time. And a lot of times, it doesn't show up in the headlines. It doesn't show up on the news. Their bodies just disappear because no one wants to admit to hiring them. So if this is a career path you want to pursue, especially if you're ex-military and you already have that foundation, then you need to have the right skills to survive and prosper in this profession. Being a mercenary is much more difficult than being a police officer or a fireman, because the risk that you have to expose yourself is astronomical. It is off the charts. And you have to do things that, as I said previously, the people that hire you would never ask legitimate soldiers to do. They're going to put you in the kind of legal jeopardy, physical jeopardy, in the kind of danger that that forces them to pay you anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 a year just to induce you to do it. So you think about that long and hard before you go down that road. Make sure you buy an insurance policy for your family in case you disappear, in case you're terribly injured. You need to research the kind of insurance policy that you get for your family. There is a high possibility you may disappear or come back with no arms or legs or severe brain trauma, and your wife and your kids, they may need some insurance money to get through the next 20 years or 30 years. So do your due diligence. Look into all of this very, very carefully. Next, Ricardo writes, can you still make money with drop shipping services like all the online videos claim, or has that time passed? Well, it's getting very difficult to make money with drop shipping services in this day and age. The profit margins are now razor thin. The competition is horrific. Everybody is doing drop shipping services, and a lot of them aren't making any money at all. Why? Because the cost of advertising is killing them. The cost of fulfillment is killing them. The margins are razor thin. It's a very, very difficult way to make money. So keep all that in mind. So Corey writes, I'm graduating high school next year. How should I pick a college? Corey, you have to do tons of research in two areas. First, selecting your school. That's really important. Don't pick a schlocky college. Don't pick a schlocky third grade college that nobody's ever heard of. Don't pick some terrible online college that recruiters laugh at when they see on your resume. all of that nonsense, you're better off not going to school than you are going down that road. But let's assume you do find a decent college, a legitimate college that you want to go to. Next, how will you afford it? Well, that's the second thing you need to focus on. Why? Because you need to spend the next 12 months of your life looking for grant money. And you need to do this not for a couple hours a week. You need to spend at least 20 hours a week looking for grant money so that you can get your 4 years of college paid for free. Don't rely on your financial aid office at high school or your financial aid at college to help you very much. They may help you find a little bit of money, but it's very rare that they're going to help you find 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years worth of money. What their real job is, once you get to college, what their real job is to try and get you into debt, sign you up for as much student tuition loan as possible so they can make a ton of money off you, whether or not you graduate or not. They could care less. Once they loan you the money, they could care less if you never show up or not. Believe me, nobody there cares about you. The only one that cares about your success is you and your family. So you keep that in mind. So how do you find this tuition money? You've got to spend 20 hours a week minimum online doing deep research. There are all sorts of grant money out there, all sorts of apps out there that are designed to help you find grant money. And you need to find $50, $100, $150,000 in grants, cumulative grants, that you can bundle all together and use to pay for 4 years of school and tuition and books and all of that. That's really important. Now you say, why should you do that? Why isn't it just easier to hit the parents up for the money? Well, I'll tell you why. Because if you turn out to be one of those idiots who gets into debt for 50 or 100 or 150,000 in tuition debt, and you get a garbage degree from a third-tier school that nobody wants to hire you from, there's a possibility you may never pay that tuition loan off. They're just going to spend the rest of your life garnishing your wages. And by garnishing your wages, I do mean garnishing your wages for the rest of your life. Because without a great job, you're never going to pay off that tuition debt. Never. And no matter how bad your job is, no matter how little you're making out there in the world, they will garnish a portion of that money. They'll keep clawing away at that income. And that's going to make your life horrific. So rather than subject the rest of your life to that kind of financial misery, you need to spend 20 hours a week while you're in high school every week looking for free money. That is your mission. Then when you find it and you graduate 4 or 5 years later from college, and you're debt free, when all your other friends who are partying really hard at school are graduating with tremendous six-figure debt that they can't discharge in bankruptcy, then you're going to be in great shape. Be smart. And you know what a big part of being smart is? It means be hardworking. You've got to put in hundreds of hours to find that money. But if you do that, it's better than spending the next 30 years trying to work off tuition debt you'll never be able to pay off. Be smart. Put in the work. Next, we have a question from Alexandro. Alexandro says, what's a good place to go on vacation? In my opinion, the best places to go on vacation are those that you can combine some business with. So that while you're there on vacation, you can write the trip off because you're incorporating business into that vacation trip. Mixing business with vacation time is a great way to minimize your travel costs, and it's a great way to improve, grow, and scale your business. That is the key. There's sunshine and warm water in a lot of different places. That doesn't matter. You can take your girlfriend to any place you want to go. That doesn't matter. It's not the warm water. It's not the girlfriend. What matters is how can you mix business and pleasure so that you can write off the cost of that vacation. Be smart. Do the research. Figure it out. Google can be your friend in this regard. They can help point you in the right direction. Don't be like all those other morons who go to Vegas or Mexico and they spend 5 or 10 grand on a vacation, and then what happens when they get back? The money's gone. The fun is gone. Don't be one of those middle class idiots. When you go on vacation, figure out a way to mix business and pleasure with your vacation, so that you can make more money by growing your business because you learned something while you were on vacation. That's the key. Be smart. Don't think middle class. Think like a billionaire. Think like a millionaire. Think like an entrepreneur, even if you're not one yet. Even if you don't have a business yet, think like a businessman. That's how you get on that path. Eli writes, I want to produce an independent film. Do you think they can still make money in this day and age? No. Not only is the answer no, but the answer is also no, 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 and no. In fact, the next time you get the urge to make an independent movie because your high school guidance counselor or your college movie professor told you should, max out your credit cards just like Kevin Smith did, and you should spend 50 grand to make an independent movie, I want you to go to Home Depot and buy yourself one of those fly swatters, and then I want you to slap yourself in the face with the fly swatter hundreds of times, over and over and over, until you knock that stupid idea out of your head. Just keep slapping your face gently. Don't injure yourself. Don't do it too harshly. Just keep slapping your face over and over until that stupid idea exits your skull. And then this is what I want you to do next. I want you to take all that passion for creating content and put it into social media. Because if you think you're going to make an independent, low-budget horror movie or some schlocky gangster movie, before you do any of that, before you take your parents' money or your credit card money and you do any of that, I want you to go on YouTube and watch some of the previous attempts that people have tried prior to you getting this brilliant idea, and watch some of their independent movies. They're horrific. They're unwatchable. They're torture. Chinese torture is nothing compared to watching some of these schlocky college student movies or these low-budget movies. They're unbearable. Get that fly swatter. Whenever you get that idea again, start slapping. Start slapping your face, because that is what will put some common sense back into you. So take that passion for the creation of content and direct it into social media. Create content for social media, and then start working on monetizing that content on your various channels. Create a YouTube channel. Use Instagram. Use the other platforms to monetize the content that you create. Because if you roll all the dice on the creation of a low-budget movie, and then a year or two later, after you've blown all your money and you see the final edit of it, or by the way, when you do create that movie, don't invite your family and friends to the screening, because they're going to come there and they're going to love it. They're going to think it's the greatest thing ever. Invite strangers. Get a whole bunch of strangers, and then sit at the back of the theater or the back of the room that you've rented out for this big screening. Sit at the back of the theater and watch how quickly it takes for these strangers to get out and start walking out. Usually within the first few minutes, people will get up and they'll start walking out. And then I want you to reevaluate your entire strategy going forward and start thinking social media. Why? Social media costs nothing but your time. If you're willing to put in the time and the effort, the energy and determination, then you may be able to monetize it. You're not risking your parents' money, your credit card money. You're not risking all of that. Remember, social media. That's where you should create your content. Nobody cares about art house movies. Nobody cares about independent movies. Netflix is not going to pick up your independent movie because it was so scary good that they just have to throw $1 million at you. That doesn't happen. Statistically, it's almost impossible. Next, we have a question from Colton. Colton says, I have a great business idea. How do I prevent somebody from stealing it? Well, you can try filing a provisional patent application. These cost about $100, and that'll offer you 12 months worth of protection. But just remember, building your business really quickly, getting a lot of clients, and generating significant profit is the key. You want to make as much money as quickly as possible before foreign companies start to rip you off and knock your products off. That's where you should focus on. Next, Tyson writes, what's the best way to succeed in business? Well, the best way is to avoid debt, avoid working with shady or unreliable people, avoid having a partner unless it's absolutely necessary. Why? Because the synonym for partner is defendant. Most people end up having to sue the partners for ripping them off. So avoid partners at all costs, unless there's no way around it. Next, you have to work 7 days a week. Work 8 days a week if you have to. Forget about vacations. Vacations are for people who want to work 9 to 5 and then get laid off 2 years later. Vacations are not for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, they work 7 days a week. They work until they have blood coming from their hands, and then they keep working, and that's how you increase the possibility of your business succeeding. You can vacation 5 or 10 years from now when you're ready to sell your business for millions of dollars. But before then, don't bother with vacations. Oh, and don't date or marry crazy people that just want to take everything that you've built up. Get a prenup. Be smart. Next, eat well and exercise regularly, because you will need that extra energy and extra strength to accomplish something as extraordinarily difficult as building a business. Next, Mata writes, is it still possible to make an honest living in this country? Because it doesn't seem like it. It seems like the crooks are just always getting ahead. Well, I get this question a lot, and the crooks are getting ahead until they get arrested and killed. Then suddenly, working for an honest living seems to make a lot more sense. Just look at all the mobsters and drug dealers and crooks that are sitting in jail, and or they're getting killed by their competition. When you review their progress 5 or 10 years later, the honest guy who's knocking himself out to feed his family is probably still going to be alive and still going to be making a few bucks. Not the criminals. 10 years from now, a lot of them are dead or gone or off to jail. So that's the cold, hard truth of it. Julie writes, how can a woman find the best divorce lawyer? Well, how much you receive in a divorce is a function of several different factors. It's not just a function of the quality of your divorce lawyer. I would consult with a number of divorce attorneys and also talk with your family and friends and discuss the lawyers that they've hired in the past. I would also check the lawyer reviews on Yelp. It can be very helpful. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and we will talk to you soon.